Again, as we've been doing for a couple sessions now, I'll be here just to help go through anything that's causing trouble or confusion, any questions you have, anything you'd like clarification or help on. So just let me know. Either I have everybody unmuted, so if you have a microphone and you'd like to ask something, you can do that. Or if you want to type into the chat channel, that'll work too. And so, Henry, I know last week during one of these sessions, we had a conversation about some features that you've talked to some of the staff about them wanting to see. And I wrote up a list for our developers based on that conversation and a few others, and stuff coming from forums and tickets and stuff. And so we're working on. I'm working on pushing them to get that stuff out in release sometime soon.
Oh, that's great. Now, are you sharing that list or just your?
Well, I'm letting you know right now. I can send you a copy of that list if you want to kind of verify, like, yeah, this sounds like what we're talking about.
Sure, that'd be great. Just since I don't have access to the tickets yet, it'd be nice to see what folks are.
Yeah, and I apologize for that. I'm working on that.
No, I understand. Yeah.
I really wish that audio connection part wasn't manual. I don't know why it is. It sounds like someone is wrestling a demon. Oh, as long as you won. Yeah. Internet. All right, excellent. So yeah, if you guys can hear me, then I think I've seen questions from. I think Marianne, had you asked a question in the forums previously? I might be thinking of someone else. I'm not sure, but okay, yes. Let me see what that was. I think I replied to it a little while ago, and then I ran to meet somebody for lunch, and I've forgotten what I was talking about. Okay, yes. So about the navigation bar. Let me see. Oh, sorry about that. All right. Let me get to your site real quick. Okay. So I believe what you were asking about was the book club link on the top navigation menu. All right, and so you were saying you want am I understanding correctly that you want, so kind of like the kids and teens has like these subfolders that show up here on the menu. You're looking to have one. Okay. So in this book club folder, when I go to the contents right now, all I see in here are these two. So if you well, so the second one is just, so this is okay. So this is a PDF. So the thing about the top navigation menus right now, and this is something that's on the list of potential changes that we're working through right now. So the only things that this top navigation menu will show you are folders that are in. So these are all kind of top level folders, and you can see on this little breadcrumb trail here that this book club folder is in the home folder itself. And so each one of these folders at the top is something that's in the home folder. And within each one of these, your options on the top navigation menu will be all of the other folders that are inside this one. So and of course there's a book club or home, a kids and teens home. So there's for each folder that's on this navigation menu will generate this home link so that you can click and get into the folder. But if you want another link to appear here, then what you would need to do is add a new folder. And this is, and so it starts out as private, but if I publish that, then you'll see that now that subfolder is now showing up as a link on the drop down for the top navigation. Yeah, and so if you want to name it something else, then you can just go to edit it and title that as you want. Now, when you put the PDF in there, what you're going to see is I don't think there's you might be able to get it to show this, but as far as like getting it to open into this, I don't know if there's a way that we can do that. When you say making an internal link, I guess can you take me through the steps of what you were doing? Okay, so you're in the book club folder like I am now. Okay, and so you go to edit here. All right. And you're trying to say it. Okay, so say I want to insert a link, and then I search for this. So is that the sort of thing that you're trying to do? Okay. When you say it wouldn't work, what happened when you tried to when you tried to do this, or what I just did? Did you have any text highlighted when you hit insert link? So when you went in here, did you just scroll down and then click right there? Yeah. So, and that's I think I actually did something similar on accident earlier. So, and I hadn't realized how confusing that could be. That I actually did that, and so now that link is right here where my cursor was, but there's no text to hover over. So like if I save that now, then I actually have to, let's see if I can even, I think it's somewhere. If I don't know, I think that link is in there somewhere, but because there's no text that it's attached to, it's not even showing up. Actually, no, it doesn't. Well, oh yeah. So and I'm looking at the HTML for this. I don't, if you're not familiar with that, then this may be confusing. But this section that I'm highlighting right here is the link that I just inserted, and you can see that there's nothing in this spot right here except for a like a return, like a space. And so there's the link is there, but it's not attached to any text. So in order to fix that, I'm just going to take that out. So the thing you would want to do is before you click this insert edit link button, you want to find the text or write the text. You would say like, this is a link to that PDF I want to show you. I can't type and talk at the same time. And then you'd highlight the text that you want the link to be behind, and then you would go here and select that. And so now this, and you can see it changing color there. So I won't save that, so I won't leave a mess on your page. But yeah, so, and you are right. Like I can see where your confusion was. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I will see if I can update any of the documentation to clarify that one, because I know there are other kinds of editors where you type in the link and then you type in what you want the link to be behind, and then you can move it around. And this one works a little differently than that. All right, excellent. Well, I'm happy to help. All right, and Stephanie, did you have any questions or any things that you were working on? Okay, so Marianne, the oh no, that's fine. I'm just kind of throwing that out there. The gray banner question, or the gray banner color, is something that it's from so the reason it was how do I want to say this? It was delivered as part of the theming of the slate themes for the moment. I'm talking to our developers because we've gotten a whole lot of people saying, hey, I mean, it's nice, but we really would prefer it without that gray overlay. And so I'm working on getting them to give us an option that has pretty much all the same stuff, just without the gray overlay. And so hopefully we'll have that in an update, a release that comes out soon. But I don't have a schedule for it yet. But I do, yeah. Marianne, do you mind? I think there's a little thing that says like at Dean Davis right now. Can you drop that down and select at all, just to make sure that anyone else here can see your messages, I'll be able to see also. But it'll just that's what Henry's mentioning. Yeah, that works. Thank you. Viewer 4, yeah, what I'm talking to our developers about is I think that the thing that makes sense is to leave the themes that we have now the way they are. So if you do like the gray overlay, I want to keep that there because not everybody wants it to change. But to give an additional option that says like, okay, you can have the same theme but with the banner image like showing without the overlay on it. So hopefully we can deliver that. And once I know, I'm trying to pin them down about when we can get that to y'all. And as soon as I know, I'll put out an announcement on the forums because I know it's something that people are looking forward to. Okay, so Stephanie, you had a question about the calendar. If there's a way we can make the text appear in the boxes on the calendar instead of the dots. Right now there's not. And I have heard similar requests from a couple of people. I don't think that we have any available configuration on that. Yeah. So, and if that is something that you're interested in having and you feel like it would be beneficial, then one of the things I would suggest is for kind of optimal visibility, there's a feature requests forum on the help desk, and if you want to just say, hey, I'd really prefer if we had this option on the calendars, then we can get that kind of. And as I was telling Henry earlier, like I have a bit of a list of like changes that people have asked after and things that make sense to me. Like, okay, that would be something that we should look at offering if we can. Then that's something that we can definitely add to that list, and maybe if we can. Yeah, and that also gives other users visibility into it, and they see like, oh, someone else is asking for this. Like, yeah, like I can get behind that. And if we have a lot of feedback about that, then it makes sense for us to change it. So. Yeah, for broken images, there's a couple of different cases for what's going on with those broken images. So for some of them, you would be able to fix it all at once, and for some of them, it is more manual. So let me pull up your. Yeah, so like for ones like in your portlets on the sides here, unless they're all in the same folder and the reason they're not showing up is because it's not public, then yeah, there'll be individual ones or individual fixes. And so for some of these, it does look like, so when I log in, they're showing up. And so depending on what folders those are in, then it may be simple to fix all of those at once. Try to copy and paste all the images that were in private folders into the new images folder under site assets and change them to not be private, hoping it would fix it, but it didn't. Let's see. So let me see for instance. Okay, so in the free downloads one, there's a broken one there. So let me check this one. Let's see. So if I go so copying them into the site assets folder should fix any ones that are broken because they're in a private folder. Let's see. Are there other ones elsewhere around the site that are also showing up as broken? It looks like the majority of them here are doing pretty good. Oh, that is unfortunate. And yeah, and it seemed to vary by site. Like some sites have had almost none that have been broken, and some we've seen almost everything. And I think it's probably something to do with the way the images were organized, and differently on each site, and then the way that the data was being migrated from the old one. And I haven't had much visibility into exactly how we did the data migration, so I don't know specifically what might have contributed to that, but I'll make sure to note to the developers that are in charge of looking at that for future migrations, one of the things we need to be careful about is that there's a lot of images, especially in portlets, that are not getting migrated correctly, so they have to be fixed. And I'll see if we can, even though you had to fix those manually on your site, hopefully we can head that off for libraries that are coming on in the future so that they don't run into the same frustration you did. Thank you for your questions. Yeah, sure. Okay, and it appeared in the list, but not in the view. Let's see. Oh, okay. So you added an event portlet, say. Um, when you say that, you mean like doing a having a tab up on top? And you should be able to. Where were you adding it? On the home page. Let's see. Okay, so if I go here and I add an events portlet, and I save this here, then so right now there's nothing showing up. And I guess the question is, do you have any events that are do you have any events created right now on your site? Okay, there's a whole lot of them in 2014, but there's none in 2015, and that may be what it is that's doing it. So, so if I add one, and I'll remove this. All right. Well, I apologize for moving so quickly. Then, if this is an unfamiliar system, so what's happening is that since there are no current there's no events currently on the calendar, the events portlet is actually just not showing up at all, and so which when there's nothing there, it doesn't show up instead of showing up as empty. So if I create something now, and I'll remove this one in a second after we've checked this out to make sure it works. And I publish that. Then when I go home, yeah, see, so you'll see now that we've got this events portlet right here that's showing up. So it will show you, as long as you've got events on your calendar, then you'll be able to see that. So let me go remove that. And when you do add events, we recommend adding them in this library calendar. So if you come to this page and then do add new event on here, then it also allows it, it'll show up properly on this calendar also, as well as in the events portlet. That page was in the there pretty much every site that we have migrated onto cloud is like we'll have a similar folder structure, have this news and events folder, and then within that there's a news and a calendar folder, and in this calendar folder there's this this calendar view, and it's actually just like an event is kind of an object, or a page or an image is an object. A calendar is also, we've created this calendar as the view, as the thing that you see when you go into this news and events library calendar. Yeah, it is private, and I'm not sure why that is. It's for most sites it comes out as published because it's something that is being accessed. Okay, well, yeah, and it looks like that what they did was they had an events folder, and they have that and They also had a library news folder, and so they just they changed the hierarchy a bit, but they left those folders there. And people got all sorts of things they want to do, and you can organize your site however it makes sense to you. I mean, if you did end up preferring to have separate events and news folders, I mean that's perfectly fine. The calendar that I was just on exists in the news and events folder because the easiest way for us to get everybody that calendar that we were putting in the sites, which is a new object that wasn't there in the old Plinkett sites, is to say, okay, as far as we know, pretty much everybody has a news and events folder with a library calendar folder in it. So anytime we find one of those, we're going to create a calendar in it. So we did that during the migration of the sites, but you're not tethered to that necessarily. Like if you want to change things around, or if you want to add a calendar that's in a different folder instead and use that and keep this hidden, yeah, you're more than welcome to. It's your site to organize how you want. We're just kind of making sure you have those basic resources on every site. Yeah, well, thank you. And yeah, if you do run into any other stuff that you're unfamiliar with, or that's confusing, we're happy to help however we can. If you've gotten a chance to read some of the solutions that are the knowledge base articles, I'm writing all of those as much as I can to speak to everyone who's trying to use the site. So if there's anything that's in there that doesn't make sense to you, or that doesn't make sense to you and it's not in there at all, any way you can notify me about that. If you're looking for an explanation of something, I'd be happy to write it out for you. So yeah, feedback is always appreciated. Yeah, sure. The floor is yours. Mm-hmm. Too big. Let's see. I think there's okay. Let's see. Yeah, so 1280 by, let's see, by 370 would be something about that big. The logo is it is optional, but okay. So there has to be a file there that's called the site logo. If there's not, there's a default image that you probably saw when you first got onto your site. That was in this top left-hand corner. Yeah, and so it's possible, if you don't want a logo there, to replace that with just a like a 1 pixel transparent image, and I can probably make one of those and post it up there on the how to add or edit your logo site or article. so that you don't have. Cause, I mean, I have to think about how to make something like that. I'm not going to ask other people to figure that out. And so that would be a way to make the logo disappear and just use the header, the banner image, if that's something that you want to do. Okay, yeah. And do you have a help desk account that you're able to log into under your name or the name of somebody else at your library? Yes, of course. That's how you're able to. Yeah, that's how our conversation started in the first place. Yes, that's correct. Okay, yeah. So if you want to, if you do decide that that's something you want to do, then you can log a ticket. Yeah, I can. If you want to just, um, if you want to email me, and it's just Plowed@Infold Systems. If you want to email me your email address that you want your account to be associated with, I'll create one for you and send you an activation email so that you can use that. Yes, yeah, that'll go to me. That's our general support email, and me and everybody else over here just get an email whenever that someone sends something to that. Right? Yeah, and I'm happy to help with all that. Does anybody have any other questions that they want to ask or anything else they want to go through? Sure, Stephanie. What you got for me? Right now, on our site, the name of the library in the banner has Fremont Area District Library with just the word library on the second line. Is there a way I can make it so district library is on the second line? There is not currently a way to do that, but that is one of the, and I've made several mentions now of a totemic list of potential enhancements. And I will say that on that list, the two things that are highest right now are, one, the banner images on the slate themes, because we've gotten a lot of people asking if they can customize it differently than we've got it, and the title. that you're asking about. And I know we've had at least one other person ask, like, is there a way to force a line break? We don't have that right now, but it's one of our most requested updates right now, is to allow for more customization of the appearance of that title. And so that's something that I'm pushing for us to get as soon as we can. Right now, no. And so right now, it's just the title field, that's the site title field, which is what that is it's just all you can specify is what text is there. Nothing about the appearance can be changed except by changing the entire theme of the site, which is not great. It would be great to be able to set what size it is, what font it is, where the line breaks are. So we're working on figuring out like how we want to do that so that we can get y'all the customizability that you're looking for. Yeah, that would be great. And putting those in the forum kind of allows us to workshop the request. And so if there's something that like you can kind of we could work so far as to like do a mock-up of what you're looking for, and see if we can match what we're understanding of it to what you're asking, just so that we can actually give you something that's useful for what you're trying to do. That would be great. Sure. What's your question? Yes. So we've got the top navigation menu and the left-hand navigation menu. So it's up to you whether you want to show both. Each has their advantages. There's no way to hide the top navigation menu. You're stuck with that one. But if you want to hide the left-hand navigation, you can always do that by just removing this. This is just a portlet like any of this other stuff. So you can always go to your Manage Portlets screen and remove this one. Let's see. There it is. Yeah. So if you wanted to hide this navigation portlet, so what you would do is, and I'm on the home page right now because that's where this navigation portlet is assigned. And here it is. And so you can see there's no options right here. And that's because what I'm looking at right now, you can see there's an info message right here. We're managing the portlets of the page that's being used as the default view of the folder. But if I go to the actual folder properties, then you can see that now you have options you can use these arrows to move these things relative to each other. You can use this to hide navigation portlet, or you can use the X to delete it. And so if you do hide or delete it, then it's going to disappear from everywhere. So this is assigned in the home folder, and so it's being, unless you specify, if you specify otherwise, then this navigation portlet is going to show up in every child folder. Every section of your site will have that navigation menu as it stands now. And if you hide it, then it'll disappear from all those. And if you want to be able to see it while you're in those menu or in those folders, then you could go into the portlet management screen for that individual folder and add a navigation menu back. Yeah, well, thank you for your questions. I'm happy to be able to help you get familiar with all this functionality. I know there's a lot to figure out. Right. Does anybody else have any questions? Oh, good. I'm glad you're able to get that working. Ah, okay. That opens. Oh, and it might be showing up for me because I already downloaded that when I clicked on it before. Well, the way it's on the site right now, since it's a PDF, then there's content types that the cloud system allows, and so when you have a PDF that you want to put on your file, your site, you have to add it as a file, which is just a generic content type. And for those, there's no way to open them directly. And so if you wanted to be able to display it, you might have to actually post you might have to post it as an image as opposed to a file, which would require manipulating the file a little bit. But yeah, I don't think that there's any way to have the PDF open within the page. Oh, well, I'm happy to be helpful. I'm happy to have your questions, and and everything that I can help you with kind of gets me more familiar with how you and other staff are trying to use your sites, and so it helps me understand better where y'all are coming from and the stuff you're trying to do, and that helps me direct our developers to make sure that we're fixing and adding things that are going to be valuable to everybody who's using the system. So I do appreciate you coming and joining us for today. Sure. I hope it isn't anything that makes me have to admit fault. Mm-hmm. Yes, the library account. What about it? Oh, you mean like this and then like the title and then this showing up again? So what you can do about that, so the reason that that's showing up is you've got this library account portlet. So the top one is actually the header, the name of it. And so if you don't want that to show up, I believe you can get away with just titling it with a space. Either that, or you can use the omit portlet border. I believe that would do it. Yeah, and I mean, and I think the default kind of behavior is to say, well, it's like, so say, take your location and hours portlet, for example. It's both of these, the library account and the location and hours, those are both the same type of portlet. They're static text portlets, so it's kind of like just an empty box that you can write into. Generally, you would have something like this where, okay, this is what we're looking at, and here's the stuff that's in it. Versus for something like this, well, yeah, the title is not really necessary. So you should be able to hide it by just making it empty, or by hiding the portlet border, and you can test that and see what works for you as far as like how you want it to show up. All right, so we've got a few more minutes left. If anybody has anything else that they are curious about or they want help with. All right. Well, I'm happy to have answered them, and for reference, we will have a recording of this session posted up in the webinar recording section of the knowledge base, for anybody who wants to relive this experience. And yeah, and we'll have other ones coming up, and those are, again, there's a schedule of those that's posted in that same folder. So if anything else comes up, or you want to tell all your plowed friends that there's a cool session to come check out, I'll be available during regular times over the upcoming weeks. So, and thank y'all for your time. And I guess I'll see you next time.
Hey, Dean, quick question. Yeah, I haven't been getting any. I hadn't been getting any of the emails. I just wanted to make sure I was in the loop where you've been advertising them.
Yeah, this one fell off my radar. I had a bit of a crisis this weekend that had nothing to do with this. That kind of distracted me.
Because I didn't get the first one, so I just want to make sure I'm getting them.
Yeah. No, I was yesterday, instead of sending out the email about this, I was at an auto glass place getting my window replaced.
Okay.
So I do apologize about that. I know it's something that we're the constancy of communication is something that we're still working on ironing out. But I'm going to send out an email about the next one. Probably, I guess, this afternoon, since it's in 2 days. So we want to give people time to plan out for that.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
So yeah, so if y'all don't see something today, then like I've accidentally left you off of the list again. So hopefully that won't happen though. So
Okay.
But feel free to call me out if it does.
No problem. All right. Thanks.
All right.
Have a good
All
one.
right. Thanks.
Bye.
Yeah, you too. All right. Bye.